Planet Earth's resources are finite. Though the Industrial Revolution was indeed the greatest advance ever known in the economy and the development of a large part of humanity, the energy needs of the manufacturing process also entailed an increasing use of mineral and fossil fuels, such as coal, petrol, and natural gas. The mistaken belief that these non-renewable sources of energy were to be found in almost limitless supply under the planet's surface brought about an overexploitation and reliance which has led to numerous negative repercussions on the environment. Perhaps the most important of these is climate change brought about by excessive greenhouse gas emissions. On top of all this, we here in Europe depend completely on resources from areas of geopolitical conflict in different parts of the world. Faced with finite energy, with its great capacity for producing pollution, we need clean and sustainable alternatives. An obvious choice with huge potential is locally produced biomass energy. Biomass is a form of renewable energy. It is present in the natural cycle of life in our planet, and its extraction is increasingly simple, yet technologically advanced, clean and economical. From this process, energy in the form of biofuels, heat or electricity can be generated. Biomass is obtained from a wide variety of materials: animal waste, residues from the farming and forestry industries, solid urban waste, and finally, dedicated energy crops. We need to replace this shortfall with renewable energy, and biomass is crucial as, unlike other technologies, it can be made available on demand. It's really important that this is done sustainably. Locally grown energy crops planted in short rotation plantations, SRP, are seen as one of the key ways to meeting our future energy needs, as it will be increasingly necessary to rely on greater amounts of biomass that can feasibly be converted to energy. They needn't compete with agricultural land used for food crops, as they can be planted on unused soils. So these energy crops are compatible with agricultural land used for food crops. Species such as willow, poplar, black locust, robinia, eucalyptus are already being successfully used for biomass production in countries such as Sweden, Germany, the United Kingdom, Poland, Spain, Italy, Ireland, France and Belgium, where the specific adaptation of these species to particular climatic conditions is producing high yields at increasingly lower costs. SRP can offer a wide range of social, economical and environmental benefits, retaining revenue in the local economy, reducing fuel costs and creating rural jobs in all stages of the production and use of the fuel. Provide numerous ecosystem services by hosting beneficial insects, being an effective means of reducing soil erosion, a cheap method of flood defense, and an efficient biofilter of polluted water. Improves the quality of the soil by increasing the quantity of organic material in the soil, and captures CO2 that stays in the soil through leaves decomposition, and mitigates the effects of wind, rain and flooding. The owners of land with unused soils can plant species such as eucalyptus, willow and poplar. These require fewer nutrients in order to develop, while at the same time helping to maintain the farms. The local production of biomass avoids the environmental and economic costs of transport for its conversion. It also creates employment in the process of creating and distributing the energy produced.
Research and investigation is needed to develop short rotation coppicing, because while the product itself is well developed and well tried and piloted in terms of the basic agricultural aspects of it, in different regions and there are different energy markets, there are very different climatic contexts. So there needs to be a whole range of adaptation and development of the product and the method. It's also in some cases still in its infancy and at small scale, and it needs upscaling So there is still a significant need for research and development to promote the sector and the product.
In reality, short rotation wood plantations are just like any other crop with the same periods of growth and harvesting. It's just that the time frame is longer. These crops have many advantages. For instance, they offer a diversification option for farmers in a rapidly growing sector. Scientific research also suggests they improve farm biodiversity by providing habitats and food for birds, bees, butterflies, and other beneficial insects. Also, the SRPs make the landscape in the areas they are brought into more diverse. These crops have been trialled for 40 years and planted commercially for 25 years. As a result, research bodies and the companies involved with SRPs have become very knowledgeable in all aspects of the production and supply chain. New high-yielding and disease and pest-resistant varieties are available, and best practice guidance produced in many different languages. Thus, there is plenty of information and experiences in different European countries on how to cultivate the trees, preparation of the land for sowing, treatment against weeds, transporting raw materials, drying, conversion process of this biomass, and so on.
I think one of the things that we've been doing a lot of over the last few years actually stretches quite far back is breeding research, looking at different cultivars, and there's quite a few research stations and one particular one in the southwest which has been going for 10-20 years or more, and that's producing some very interesting results, different varieties of SRC.
Finally, these are species of rapid growth, which also possess a broad genetic base, short cycles of improvement, easily achieved vegetative multiplication, an ability to produce new shoots after felling, and so on. All of these characteristics make them well suited to this kind of energy production. As a result, farmers should be able to produce the best conditions for growing, managing, and storing their crops. As short rotation energy crops are included in the aid given by the Common Agricultural Policy and incorporated in support programs from autonomous regions, they can become one of the cornerstones in the efficient usage of relatively unfertile soils or marginal land. They can generate wealth and employment in rural communities and diminish our dependence on external energy resources.
Absolutely most important thing, finding the market that's right and knowing what you're going to get for your fuel, the condition that it needs to be in, the specification of the wood chip, the quality that's required, all of these things that your end user requires. Without knowing those, you're unfortunately going to be struggling with finding a buyer for your fuel and making any money out of it. And without that, then it is a recipe for disaster, unfortunately. So knowing your market and how much you can get is absolutely essential.
There are already many European farmers who produce their own biomass for use in their own premises. Some will also have experience of supplying local buildings, such as schools or hotels, whilst others provide fuel for district heating solutions for small towns. These produce stable income over a long period. You can become one of these farmers.